some disturbing footage has come out featuring A'ja Wilson and her entire Las Vegas Aces team trying to pretty much flop, assault, do whatever they can to get that win yesterday, but it was just not enough, guys. This is some disturbing content.
The moment the footage hit the screen, fans were left stunned by what unfolded between A'ja Wilson and Lexie Hull. The four-time MVP and face of the Las Vegas Aces suddenly found herself at the center of a storm after a clip surfaced that put her actions under the spotlight.
Listen.
Lexie Hull was getting pushed all game. Look at that. Like elbowed, pushed, but guess who fell? That's an illegal screen.
Look, illegal screens at this point. They planned.
What many described as a display of pure aggression and recklessness quickly stole the spotlight. Instead of celebrating her usual dominance, her leadership, rebounding, and scoring, the conversation shifted to one question: did she cross the line? Indiana Fever fans flooded social media demanding consequences, while Aces supporters came to the defense of their star. The fact that it happened in the heat of an already emotional game only intensified the backlash. This wasn't just a routine foul, it was the kind of moment that sparks heated debate and forces people to question what kind of legacy a superstar will ultimately leave behind.
Ellie, what the hell? Y'all playing super duper dirty. But this is how they was playing. Let's see.
Leans into Lexie Hull, pushes her. Look at this. Pushes Lexie Hull down. Like, I can't take this crap. I'm sick of watching it over and over. That's a moving screen, and then pushes her again. Look at that.
It all started with one clip that went viral, replayed endlessly across social media. A'ja Wilson, the Las Vegas Aces superstar and four-time MVP, was caught in a heated clash with Indiana Fever's Lexie Hull. At first, it looked like just another high-intensity play in a game loaded with pressure. But when the slow-motion angles began circulating, fans saw something far more troubling. Wilson's arm connected hard, sending Hull stumbling back in pain. And suddenly, what seemed like routine physicality turned into a firestorm of controversy.
Was calling flop. I'm pretty sure everybody's saying them flopping all over the damn place. I mean, they was hella flopping in this game. I mean, it was bad, bro.
What began as an ordinary defensive battle quickly spiraled into the night's biggest controversy. Within minutes of the footage hitting social media, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter were flooded with divided reactions. Some fans immediately called it an outright attack, demanding Wilson be suspended for crossing the line. Others brushed it off as standard playoff physicality, accusing Fever players of exaggerating to sway public opinion. The split was sharp, the debate relentless, and one thing became clear: this wasn't a moment that would simply fade away. The circumstances surrounding it only added more fuel to the fire.
I just gotta be honest. I just gotta keep it real. But at this point, like, when is something's gonna be done? You know what I'm saying? Like, when is they gonna, like, somehow fix this, or somehow, you know, like, I know they kind of fist the whistle for the most part, but I don't know, man. Something just gotta be done, bro.
Coming off a stretch of rough performances against the surging Aces, A'ja Wilson and her team were already under heavy scrutiny. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever, energized by Caitlin Clark's arrival and powered by Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell, suddenly looked fearless, a team transforming into giants. In contrast, the Aces were being criticized for acting entitled, leaning on their reputation rather than proving themselves on the floor. So when Wilson lashed out at Lexie Hull, it didn't come across as simple frustration. It felt like desperation. Hull's reaction only fueled the uproar. Known as one of the toughest defenders in the league, she was visibly shaken in the aftermath. Fans seized on the moment, sharing clips with captions like, "Bullying won't save you now," and "This is what losing looks like." The controversy wasn't just about the hit itself, it was about watching a superstar's image unravel in real time. What made it worse was the response from officials. Fever fans argued referees once again protected star power instead of ensuring fairness, especially as videos circulated showing Wilson's actions overlooked, while Fever players were whistled for far less. To many, the message was clear. The league wasn't playing by the same rules.
These referees letting them just play dirty because they play dirty.
Here we go. A'ja Wilson. Look at her trying to flop to get a call. Nobody touch you. And this is the biggest bullcrap of the game. So Kelsey Mitchell goes in for a layup. A'ja Wilson shows them their lip, so they review it. We see an Indiana Fever player get a review when they're called for a foul and they zoom in with a microscope and call it technical.
This moment only added fuel to the long-standing belief that the league bends over backward to protect its biggest stars, even if it means sacrificing fairness. By the end, the clip wasn't just an ugly highlight of the night, it became a symbol. To critics, it represented arrogance, entitlement, and an unwillingness to face the fact that Wilson's dominance was being challenged. To her defenders, it was nothing more than an overblown reaction to a heated play in the middle of fierce competition. But no matter which side you were on, one question echoed throughout the league. Had Aja Wilson crossed a line she couldn't come back from? The uncertainty only deepened when shocking developments unfolded in the hours that followed.
Kelsey Mitchell, and then called a foul on her on this play.
Wow.
And then look at this. This is ridiculous. Michaela Timpson gets a foul called for. And look at, ooh, Becky Hammond. Sit down just because your team's getting killed. Look at this. Another legal screen by Aja Wilson. You cannot stick your leg out on when you're setting screens. Aja Wilson. Look at that foul they called for.
Once the video of Aja Wilson and Lexie Hull surfaced, the internet instantly turned into a battleground. What might have been brushed off as just another rough playoff play exploded into a viral storm. Fans slowed the footage down, replayed it from every angle, and dissected it like courtroom evidence. The debate quickly shifted from whether Wilson committed a foul to whether her entire superstar legacy was beginning to crack. Hashtags like Justice for Lexie and Ants Suspend Wilson began trending within hours. Fever fans argued that if the roles were reversed, punishment would have been immediate. They pointed to examples of lesser-known players receiving harsher penalties for softer contact, calling it proof the league protects its stars. Some even tagged WNBA officials directly, demanding Wilson be suspended, with one viral post declaring, "If the league lets this slide, they're admitting MVPs don't have to follow the rules." Meanwhile, Aces supporters rushed to defend their star. They claimed Hull exaggerated the hit to win sympathy and insisted Wilson was simply giving Indiana a taste of their own physical style. Clips of Aaliyah Boston's bruising screens and Kelsey Mitchell driving hard into defenders were used to argue that the Fever dish it out just as much as they take it. What started as one controversial foul morphed into a proxy war about toughness, favoritism, and even the identity of women's basketball itself. TikTok creators poured fuel on the fire with dramatic slow-motion edits painting Wilson as the villain, while others mocked the outrage, suggesting the only reason the clip blew up was Caitlin Clark and Indiana's rising popularity. The moment stopped being just about basketball. It became a story fans couldn't look away from, with Wilson cast as a character in a larger drama. Former players and analysts only added to the chaos. Some defended her, saying it was frustration, not malice, but louder voices insisted she crossed a professional line. ESPN panels replayed the scene endlessly, debating whether it was competitive fire or a cheap shot. And the more it was talked about, the more it cemented itself as the defining controversy of the season. The fallout didn't stop with highlight reels and fan edits. It spiraled into a wave of memes. One viral image showed Wilson squaring up to Hull with boxing gloves. Another depicted her MVP trophies cracking in half with captions like, "How many awards before accountability?" It was harsh, and soon Wilson's name was trending everywhere, but for all the wrong reasons. By week's end, what should have been a debate about basketball and officiating had transformed into a cultural firestorm. The league's brightest star was suddenly its most polarizing figure. Yet, while fans argued endlessly online, the WNBA itself stayed silent. That silence only made things worse. Instead of cooling the outrage, it fueled speculation that the league was protecting Wilson. Fever supporters saw their worst fears confirmed. To them, this was proof that the WNBA bends the rules to protect its marquee names. Comment sections exploded with anger, with fans insisting a rookie or role player would have been suspended instantly for the same foul. Old clips resurfaced of Caitlin Clark being knocked down earlier in the season. Moments where no calls were made, further feeding the belief that different standards exist depending on the name on the jersey. The league's refusal to respond lit a fuse for conspiracy theories. Many believed Wilson's MVP status and lucrative sponsorships made her untouchable. Others argued the WNBA couldn't afford to suspend her, while Caitlin Clark was driving record-breaking ratings. The marketing balance between the league's established face and its rising star was too delicate to disrupt. Analysts began to frame the silence as more than a missed statement. It looked like brand protection. Debate shows and podcasts openly questioned what message the WNBA was sending. If they truly wanted to promote toughness and fairness, critics argued, then they had to hold even their biggest names accountable. Otherwise, the league risked looking weak and hypocritical. That narrative only gained momentum. Fans wondered aloud if the Fever players themselves felt abandoned. In interviews, some hinted the physicality had crossed a dangerous line, and that behind Lexie Hull's shaken reaction was a locker room, struggling to protect both its teammate and its reputation. Meanwhile, Wilson's teammates circled the wagons, brushing off questions with rehearsed lines about just playing tough. But instead of calming things down, that only intensified the debate, handing fans even more ammunition in arguments over bias and unfair treatment. The league's silence didn't help either. With no official stance, social media took control of the narrative. Every meme, every viral clip, every angry fan post added fuel to the fire, painting the WNBA as either too timid or too complicit to step in. What was meant as a strategy to protect its stars ended up backfiring, making it look like the league had something to hide.